Thokozani, Thokozani, Thokozani. Oh, let's see, Thokozani. I hope that everybody's good. I had quite a day today, and as I am sitting just journaling, I'm inspired. I've got a message. It was a pretty long day for me. And as I am finalizing the day, journaling, I am inspired. And I did say that I am not going to wait for the right time anymore. When inspiration comes, and I'm going to show up. So, yeah, I am here. And the inspiration today is about time out, or talking about the importance of time out. Something that I have engaged in for the past few years. Spirit has pushed for me to take time out, and time out from the social media teachings. So I'm both on TikTok, and I'm live on YouTube also. So Thokozani, thank you, Luca, for the blessings. Thank you for the gifts as we're entering. As I said, it was quite a long day, and I thought that I'm just gonna bath and I'm gonna sleep. But as I was in the bath, I'm inspired to come and talk about the importance of time out. Not just for me as a healer, but for us as spiritual beings, because at the end of the day, we are all spiritual beings. Tagoza Gogo, Tagoza Vix. Tagoza. I am inspired to really just come and say the importance of time out. How important and why it is important for us to allow Spirit to give us that opportunity to take time out. Many of us are forced into time out. And the time out does not only start after Ipehlo or after I as Gognoma have gone through the initiation process. If anything, the time out starts long before one encounters a spiritual journey where a mentor is present. Good evening to everybody, Thokozani. And when you look at it also, I'm going to make an example as always with me. Welcome to Learning with Noma. Those who are new, I am Gognoma, and I teach from my own lived experiences. I come here to share my stories, hoping to inspire you to share your own story, and also hoping to encourage you as you go through your journey, because I know some of us are just entering into the spiritual awakening, and we have so many questions, we have so many difficulties that we are facing. You don't even know who to listen to, you don't know what to listen to, because even in that aloneness, there's so much when it comes to messages from different, I'll say, ancestors, and also different spirits, where you see different things that come, or different entities, whether you're going to dream of dogs, whether you're going to dream of snakes, whether you're going to dream of talking to monkeys, whatever that it is. But there's just always seems to be different messages from different spirit, yet you are one person, and the awakening is happening to you, and this is meant to be your spiritual journey. You're supposed to be in it, you're supposed to walk it. And everybody who is sitting where I'm sitting right now as Gognoma, counting years of having been in the journey as a healer, is telling you that it's all for you, and it's all working out for your own good. So when we talk about time out, the reflection for me was actually realizing, as I said, it happens long before you even come into the space. Torosa, thank you for the gifts. It comes long before the the journey of I am packing my bags and I'm going to my Kobela's place. And what I mean by that is, for me, it started around the ages of 12 years. And this is just after my grandfather died. And yes, I'm a child, and for most of us who have, who grew up uh, in the location, playtime was playtime. Playtime was playtime. So I started also with drawing at that age. From playtime, I would sit in the house, I'd listen to gospel songs. I would rather sit and read the Bible. I would rather sit and read a book. I would rather discover something new. But mainly for me, it was listening to music and having conversations with myself. I would close the bedroom, and at that time, you don't even care who's listening to you. My mom would pass the bedroom and I'd be speaking to myself. I'll be having a conversation, asking and listening to the voices that are answering me. And because, like I say, educating and teaching is one of the ways, or it's the main way in which I've been called to heal. This would be something that I would do. I would play teacher, I would play school. I would line up my teddy bears and I would take a matches and I'd be pretending it's a chalk and I'd be writing on the wall and I'd be teaching. And sometimes it will be teachings of things that I myself have never been taught, as it is happening today, that I sit in front of the camera inspired, and I'm probably going to say something that I need to come back to after the live when I save the video, so that I can jot it down, because it was also a lesson to me as much as it is a lesson to you who is watching. And that is why I always say it is learning with Norma, because as much as I come to teach, I am also learning with you through the teachings that I give. So this time out happens before we are entering Ephehlweni, when the awakening, I'll say, starts, when the journey starts. You find that you isolate yourself. You're not able to, many of you will talk about, I can't be in public spaces. I'm overwhelmed when I enter into public spaces. That is spirit saying to you, it is time to return to self. And when I say return to self, when we are born into the physical realm, scientifically it has been proven that the first 7 years of a child's life are the most important. They are foundational phase of the child, because this is how they are nurtured into the physical realm. And this is how we somehow detach to our nature as spiritual beings, and we are socialized into the physical realm that we are entering into. And once you have been nurtured and the foundation is laid, everything else that comes becomes, how when you build a house, it will take about, depending on how many stories you're going to build and how tall your house is going to be, it's going to determine how deep the foundation is and how long the laying of the foundation, what materials you're going to use for the foundation, because you know how tall your house is going to be. An example also with trees, we've got the bamboo tree. Is it China or Japanese tree? But the bamboo tree, where you find that the seed is planted and it takes 5 years for the seed to actually break ground. So for 5 years, you need to water the tree, you need to take care of the ground around the seed that you have planted, but you are only going to see results after 5 years. And when it sprouts after 5 years, it's going to take 6 weeks for it to be the tallest tree alive. 6 weeks. And the question always comes to say, does it take 6 weeks to be the tallest tree, or does it take 5 years to be the tallest tree? And the answer is, for me, it took 5 years for it to be the tallest tree that you're gonna find, because I know from my own experience that it didn't take me 6 months ephehlweni to become a healer, but it has taken from the 12 years to the 2014, 8 years of me going through a lot of challenges, more than 8 years, close to 12 years, me going through a lot of things to become the healer that I am, to become the initiate that I was when I was ephehlweni in 2014. From 2002, I'll say, when maybe I became aware of what was happening. But a lot of things now, I remember things from way back when I was even 3 years. So it didn't just happen that I go ephehlweni and hey, all of a sudden, Thokoza Gogo, I'm a Sangoma. There's a lot that that takes a person to actually grow into what they are. There's a lot of things, and it takes years for one to actually become who they are going to be as a healer. And the time out does not happen only when you now enter ephehlweni. The time out happens long before iphehlo, but the time out is necessary. The time out is necessary for you to actually become the person that you are supposed to become. It is necessary because there's a difference between change and transformation. And when we talk about spiritual journeys, when we talk about going back into our nature from how we have been nurtured, it doesn't talk about change, because when we talk change, it means you tweak something to become a little bit different there and there. But when we talk about transformation, it's about the reshaping. It means that this thing, you're going to look at it and sometimes you might not even recognize it. And that is you. If the time out is for you to change, you'll come back and you'll still recognize what I'm still Norma, because I can still. But when transformation takes place, you come out and you look yourself in the mirror and you see a totally different person. That is transformation. That is what the spiritual journey is about. That is us returning back to self and not just tweaking a few parts there. So when this is happening, you'll take your time out. For most of us, this is the time when you actually start doing, like I say, the transformational work, where you are even finding yourself doing things outside of your comfort zone. And for me, one of those things was having finished the process of initiating as a prophet, coming home, having the practice open in Dumba now is open, and I'm working. Abantu bayangena. Already I'm a healer, I'm healing. And I had to now take a step back. And I'm being told, here is a journey. There's beads involved. There's amabai involved. There's intlolo involved. And that in itself had me understanding that it's not just about changing the name from Kimo Profeta to Kesangoma, but it was a whole transformation, because as I said with the previous life, when I was talking about there'll never be a right time, I said when I came back from Ephehlweni, my ndumba was, when I left, the Bible, the water, the candle, and then it would be the glass of water, or that the people would take to go and get water, and I would do intlolo. But now I'm coming back, there's Ndundu, there's Muti, there's Bai, there's Ntlolo, is Kwama, there is Lechoba, there is like my Ndumba became full. So it wasn't change, it was a whole transformation. There's also a new name that I come with, a new way of practice, a new way of consulting. Transformation happened. But back to the time out. So when we go ephehlweni, you find that you are, I'll say, isolated from the world. And as I said, this happens even before you enter ephehlweni, the isolation, where you start wanting to be on your own. You're overwhelmed by the presence of other people. You're overwhelmed by public places, where you start finding yourself telling people in Davazabo, and at times you're not even aware that you are actually telling people their things in conversation nje wena talking, so bitsitse bomo fela, and you've said something to somebody, and this something to somebody is actually what is happening in their life. Therefore, you find the only way to protect myself, the only way to protect others, is to be alone. The isolation starts there. Then the time comes now, you have found the teacher, because always when the learner is ready, the teacher will appear. Now it's time to pack your bags. Now you are going ephehlweni. And when you get there, there are so many rules that are associated with isolation, or that are associated with detaching and disconnecting you from the physical world. Even with your family, you start being told that you don't talk directly to your family. You talk to me as your Kobela first, and then I will pass the message to your family. And the family also is told that you don't talk to the initiate directly. You talk to me, and I will pass the message to the initiate. And I'm talking about not, we've got phones now, there's WhatsApp, we chat. I mean, it's even difficult to even follow those kind of rules anymore in this life that we're living. But for me personally, when I got ephehlweni, I think I went through 5 phones until we decided as a family that you will get a phone when you come home. Because Jay, it was story after story with my phone. I remember the first one, it fell into my water as I was finishing bathing, and then the second one, my husband drove over it as he was dropping me ephehlweni from work. Like, it's just story after story. The third one, it rang, and I was in the Ndumba, and that was the end. It just like, and then that was the end of it. The fourth one, I think, fell in the water again. The sixth one, sort of like the same thing happened when Sebe, I was just entering Ndumbeni. It wanted to ring, and then it lost signal, and then the screen was black. It was ringing, and everything, but it was just not functioning because the screen was black. And it was just like, listen, you're not gonna do this. And it's so funny for me every day when I talk about the story to say, I sit here and I'm 80% of my consultations every month are virtual, and you find that people come to me for treatments. I've got people who would be just around the corner from me in Joburg CBD. I've got people who will be just around the corner from me here in Alberton. I'll be like in J, but they would be choosing virtual, the comfort of their own homes. We do the virtual consultation, and they come through and they do their treatments. Yet when I was at Pefleni, the disconnection was there. It was evident, and it just happened. And spirit was there. And then Togoza, look, I'm gonna cover the topic very soon of self-initiation. I will talk about it very soon. Today I just wanna, let's build up to it. Let's build up to it. But I will cover it and I will answer the question. So yeah. Now, when you get ephehlweni, like I say, it's you and your fellow initiates. There's rules, like I said, about family. Other thing is that you don't loiter around anymore. You are ephehlweni, usesigodlweni. There's times when you will go out. Even when you go out, you're dressed a certain way. So even the people who are outside, when they see you dressed in a certain way, their approach is different. Rona mo re tswang teng, you don't just speak to a Xhosa. Wa mo kgantshetsa pele, and even with sekgantsho sa hao, it depends. what spirit is allowing, whether the spirit is going to allow for the twasa to communicate with you or not. So when you enter momabale, I have, like, for me, an example, if I go and I enter go high, my baba's place, and I find kukhona gogo that I don't know, new initiates, I cannot talk to them without ukukhanyisa. I have to put something down and ngithi thokozani bogogo only after ngibakhanyisile, like after ke ba kgantsheditse bogogo, will they then talk to me. Yes, different mpandes or different rules from different banders. Other times, depending on what's happening, others, they don't know who I am. So how can they would vusela, and it was luzokuvusela kuqala ukuthi umkhulwane ukhona, and then you would answer for them after. Togoza. Yes, you can ask as long as it's related to the topic that I'm talking about. Not a dream, as long as it's not about a dream, but it's related to what I'm talking about. Taking time out in your spiritual journey, the importance of that isolation that happens when we are going through our spiritual journeys. So those rules help us to take time to return to self. And as I said, that it's not about taking time out to change. It's not about tweaking a few things here, tweaking there and there, ke lokisa fela manala aka, but I'm still the same Norma. I'm just going to wear a different dress. This is a total transformation. It means that when you look at yourself and people look at yourself, it's reshaping. You're not going to be recognized. And this is what happens when we are at we are there with abokobela. We come out different people. And then the mistake that we make, or the mistake that I made, thinking that it was the end of the time out, thinking that the time that I spent Hakobela, it was fine. Hey, Mujaivo. Well, some of us, we never even, had the time to go to Mujaivo, because like I said, Kikeni Golfetlong, after I finished Laba Profeta, which was at the age of 18 when I entered, and then 4 years when I finished, I go the following year, Golfetlong la bongaka. So it's just been spiritual journey after spiritual journey for me. But when you come out, many of us, we're happy. You wake up at 3 o'clock, you sleep in the mid hours, in the late hours of the night. You can't speak to your friends. You can't speak to your family as you want. For those who have boyfriends, sometimes the boyfriend can't even come see you. If it's my husband, they would come, but there's certain also limits to, how you interact with your partner. So all those things, when we come out, we are so happy that finally it's over. I can go back to being myself. But hey, you come out and you realize I'm not myself anymore. I can't even be myself anymore because of everything that I had to learn about my nature compared to my nature. Then we think that was it. That was the time out. We are done. We are not going to have another time out at another stage of our lives. We think this is it. Hey, finally done. I'm free. I can be a healer. I can function how I want. No more time out. I am learning that every year you are going to experience a certain level of time out, but that is important because you cannot remain the same. It is not in the spirit's nature as spiritual beings. I'm going to keep saying in the spirit nature because we are spiritual beings. It's not in our nature to stay the same. Spirit does not like comfort. The minute you are comfortable, believe me, do not be too comfortable, because the minute you are comfortable, then you need to know that change is going to come, transformation is going to come. Change is going to come so that transformation can happen. And when I say change is going to come so that transformation can happen, it's like, okay, all right, so now you are comfortable. You are here, you know that a patient is going to come in, you're going to throw your bones, uzohlola so and so and so, and this is what you're going to do. We will give you umuti, mix this and this and this, and then abantu baphole, happy, and they're like, nope. Remember, you said you are here to help with the integration of indigenous ways of healing and the modern ways of healing. So come, they come in Dumbeni, we stop umuti, we focus on mental health, we focus on healing the psyche. Now we concentrate on counseling. Okay, while we do that, we see a psychiatric nurse, but these people, this is more than just what you learned as a nurse about people, illusions, hallucinations. Hey. You are going to have to learn about shadow work. You are going to have to learn about healing the inner child. You're going to have to go deep. Yes, you're already doing it, but you need to understand the fundamentals of life coaching. Hayibo, kanti ngiceda nini? Now you have to take time out again to go and learn about those things that they now want you to incorporate in Dumbeni. And when you have learned those things and when you acquire new knowledge, you can never be the same person. Sometimes it's not even about new knowledge, it's just relearning what we have learned. And like I said, the time out is necessary for us to return to our nature. It's not about change, it's about transformation. Spirit is about renewal at all levels, at all times. And that is what I'm learning. Even this year, for me, I think more than anything, 10 years as a Sangoma, 15 years as a prophet practicing, I am learning that there's no way I can be the same person. Yes, every year it will be little changes, but somehow the 5-year mark in my life hits hard. The 5-year mark in my life hits hard. Every 5 years is not change, my friend. It is transformation. I am reshaped. I am remolded. It's the story of the potter and the clay. When you know in the Bible where God takes Jeremiah and says, go and look at the potter, go to the potter's house, and he sees the clay falling off the potter's hands and him taking it back and putting it back together, and he says, that is you in my hands. Every 5 years is that. It's like, listen, okay, but we're gonna break you. What they do in China in their art, when they will come break a clay pot and they will put it back together with gold, because it's about transformation. I'll never be the same vessel again. The importance of time out. And this can be, like I said, as hectic as for me this year. It was literally about 3 months that I had to take time out. For me, in the past 5 years, because it was also hectic becoming a mother, there was a time between 2021 and 2022 where I took close to 6-7 months out, because now I was a new mother, a new baby, just having given birth. Now there's a baby that is born. I need to navigate my life around. I'm a mother now and I've got a baby. So it was about 7 months of time out, and this year I think it was close to 3 months of time out. And in that time, I understood the importance of taking time out, or I am sitting here today reflecting in everything that has happened, and maybe not really everything, but the few things that they are bringing into my space tonight after the day that I had with a beautiful healing ritual that was done. I'll say a ceremony even. And I am understanding that time out is important. And I'm asking, why is time out important? So because I said I was journaling, I'm gonna just, for me, the 4 points that came is one, for me to understand that the awakening um is not linear, and there's a need for us to realign with ourselves, with our calling. And when I talk with those who have come in my space after a consultation, when we do the first treatment, I always tell them that I call it the alignment treatment. And depending on the person that I'm going to treat, depending on the person that I'm going to treat, because I've been talking the whole day, so I need water. Depending on the person that I'm going to treat, the alignment package can include few rituals. One could be, first, we need to remove energies that don't serve you. Then, after removing those energies, we might find that we need to do some shadow work, as I say. But what the package, or what the first step is about, is making sure that we are putting you in alignment with who you are in your nature. And like I say, it could be different things for different people. It could be me having to already start with counseling sessions with you. It could be me having to take you to the river. It could be me having to encourage you to go for nature, you know, being in nature, going to natural places alone where you have to be at the, it could be it could be me saying to you, you used to read a book every month, you are no longer reading. It could be me saying, what happened to the ritual of journaling at the end of the day, where you sit and you reflect? Realignment, or the alignment, means that I am bringing you back into your nature. I need that to be heard. I hope you're hearing me. I am not going to introduce you to anything new. It's things that you have been doing that you have forgotten how to do. That is what the first step is always about. So I am understanding that the awakening is not linear, meaning that it cannot just happen. And for me, hey, I understood it at different levels. I understood it at different levels. As I said, first, it was Lefehlo la Baprofeta. I had to initiate as a prophet. Then, kaya Lefehlong ka lo thwasa, Nguni, and then I did. Also with the prophet, we will talk. And those who are going to join me on the members only, there's a lot to talk about. But also that we will talk about it as soon as I've set up everything. But I had to go ko Lefehlong la Baprofeta, and it was a different initiation process on its own. And then ha ke ya ko Lefehlong la bongaka, there was also another part of Seprofeto that I needed to complete, that could not be completed where I was, because like I said, the mentor can only give you what they have, and your ancestors know why they wanted you to start there, to have that. If ke ne ke sa di etsa for me separately, being the person that I am, I would not understand my gifts fully. So I had to do them at separate stages with different people, so that I learn from the different teachers and I understand the different gifts and stages of my gifts at an intense and deep level. And then 2019 also, I had to go and finish other processes Zumdal. And that was the awakening. It's not linear. It had to have, those ups and downs. Like I said, even when I went to initiation in 2014, I was already a practicing, I'll say, practitioner, because but it had to pause, and I had to go and do another part, come back. And I'm like, I'm going to nursing, I'm going to heal. And then come back, and here I am, full-time go-go, having to pause nursing. I don't know, having to pause practitioner work. I don't know. Maybe 2 years from now, I'll be saying I can do them both, and I'll be able to do them both. Who knows? I can never be sure, and I can never say never, not after the experiences that I've had in this past 15 years. But the time out is to realign with our deepest self. So, lesson number one for me is spirit needs time out to renew itself. And I'm going to again talk about change and transformation. When we talk renewal, I'm not just talking about, I'm no longer going to wear a white duke, but I'm going to wear a red duke. I'm talking about renewal in a sense of transformation. The time out is necessary for me to recharge my energy as I renew myself. And recharging the energy cannot be the same. I cannot recharge with the thing about spirit is you don't use the same charger because hey, I'm no longer a Nokia 3310. I am now a Samsung S24 top of the range. And when I look at the two chargers, they are not the same, and therefore I cannot use the old charger to charge the new me. It's about recharging your energy as you realign with yourself. Togoza Magoma. No, you didn't miss much. I'm gonna load the video on YouTube. I'm live both on TikTok and YouTube. So after this, the video is gonna be uploaded on YouTube, and you can always watch on YouTube. So you also look at the importance of replenishing, because we are giving so much as healer of ourselves that our cup is never taken into consideration when it comes into refilling the cup. And that time out is necessary for me to refill my cup. It can be time out going for a spa. It can be time out where it's literally time out and I need to do a mountain hike, or it's literally time out. I'm sitting in the house. I'm doing nothing. I don't even want to interact with the world. But I need to refill my cup because I cannot pour from an empty cup. The other thing about time out is to strengthen your personal boundaries, or to strengthen boundaries around, to have healthy boundaries with other people. When I was taking time out, I'll speak particularly about the time after my baby was born. I needed to then look at my new role as a mother, and I needed to say, what is important for me to achieve in this new role, and how am I going to achieve what I need to achieve in this new role, taking into consideration the roles that are already in existence. One of the things about me before 2022, I worked. Listen, I worked until I would be doing consultation even now at 10 o'clock if somebody wanted to consult. I would do lives every day. I would work from 6 o'clock in the morning. But now I'm a mother, and my priorities needed to change. I'm coming. I just need to check my baby. I needed to prioritize this guy. Oh, maybe the life will be cut short. Sorry. Okay, sleep. It's been a long day, like I said, even for him, because when mommy works, he's also waking. Here's it. Let mommy get out of my life. Rosani, guys, can we please continue with part 2 of the one? I just need to take care of my baby. Oops, sorry. May we please continue with part 2? So